So there is a lot. Rishi Sunak, of course, has an international focus, but he has a domestic focus as well. And there are lots of political stories around this week, including the next election, apparently still in the balance with more than 10 million voters undecided. That's the words of Isaac Levido, who's the sort of campaign chief for the Conservatives. Do you honestly believe the election is in the balance with Labour so far ahead in the polls for 2 years, Ben?
I think if there's an election tomorrow, the Conservatives would lose. But, I mean, I speak to people on the doorstep just this week, and people are unhappy with what we've done over the last 4 years. They think it's been a total mess with Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, but a lot of people still are saying, well, no, we voted for you in 2019 because we believed in Brexit, we believed in getting the numbers down, you delivered Brexit, but we just need to see you go further on things like the ECHR and things like that, and getting the numbers down on small boats crossings. And I think if we're able to do these things, get the economy in shape, which we have done to a large extent, and cut NHS waiting lists, I really think...
they're already at million at the moment. You're saying if we're able to do this, that and the other, that would all be wonderful. I'd love a nice apple pie and a cup of tea, but I'm probably not going to get it. But will that all happen by, let's say, November? I think the election will be on November the 14th. I mean, can Rishi Sunak really turn it around with just a few months to go?
I think he can turn it around to an extent. We have to acknowledge that there's not much time left. We've got an election probably in about 8 months' time, and people haven't still made their minds up. People still haven't made their minds up. There's a long time left in politics. There's a long time left in politics for this to happen. People, as I said, I'm speaking to people on the doorstep, and people aren't happy with Labour. They aren't happy with their spending plans. They don't know where the money's coming from. And if they don't know where the money's coming from, they can only jump to one conclusion. It's coming out of their pockets.
This is a problem for Labour. I mean, they've tied themselves a knot, Richard Power Sayeed, about the 28 billion. Is it happening? Is it not? Will taxes go up? Will they not? Rachel Reeves saying in Davos the taxes would go up. Now she's saying they won't. I mean, people are looking at what Labour are saying they'll do, and we're getting mixed messages, are we not?
Nah, if fiscal rules are really tight, Rachel Reeves is on the right of the party. Nobody's worried at all. Look,
okay.
I mean, there's been an enormous amount of media speculation, but that doesn't mean there's actually any uncertainty. I'm just going to go back.
I mean, there is uncertainty in my mind. I don't know whether they're committing £28 billion a year or not.
I think you know perfectly well that they've said the fiscal rules will always apply. So the 28 billion is an ambition, but you know, if the fiscal situation tightens, as it probably is going to over the next few years, then the 28 billion is going to be...
I mean, that's not exactly what they said, Richard, but we could argue this all day. No, it's not.
Wait, okay, no, go on, tell me.
They said £28 billion would be spent on their green plan. That is what they said.
I think about like 4 years ago.
Right, so they did say it.
I mean, like, I feel like that was a kind of a headline, and it was always subject to fiscal rules, was it not?
So they haven't changed their mind at all, you're saying? There's no flip-flopping whatsoever?
I think there's been loads more detail put in. I think there's loads more detail, and the last couple of days...
You're a great spinner.
The last couple of days, I agree, there's been, like, very much signalling a decrease in ambition, which I find really disappointing, because people want public investment to go up. We're really low on that compared to other developed countries, and guess what? They've been growing much faster than us, and they've been experiencing much less of a chronic economic crisis than we have.
Paula Venables, if you're watching, Richard Power Sayeed is available to do your press. He can change it round. He can make sure people view you as the wonderful, marvellous, benevolent person you are.
Oh, can I say something good about Rishi Sunak?
Go for it. Fasting, is it?
I agree with Rishi Sunak, and I agree with Isaac Levido that actually the Tories could turn it round if they were more unified, but they're not going to be, and that's
10 million
why they're
people
lose.
Undecided, apparently.
I mean, 10 million people undecided, most of whom are not going to vote.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a very good point, and it is getting people. I mean, you're on the doorsteps, Ben. Are people saying, do you know what? We voted for you last time. We're just not going to come out again this time?
Well, I mean, all you have to do is look at the results. So in the Mid-Bedfordshire by-election, the Tamworth by-election, I noticed things straight away. Labour's vote actually isn't increasing anywhere. In Tamworth, I think it went up by 1,000. I totally agree with you.
It's a by-election.
But the problem is it's not Labour's vote actually increasing. There's no enthusiasm for the Labour Party or Keir Starmer. There isn't enthusiasm with the Conservatives, and that is the issue. And that's because people see us as a divided party. They see Rishi Sunak as sort of trying to bring all this mess together, when what Conservative MPs should do is stop looking at their own ambition and rally behind the Prime Minister now, because we've got eight months left for an election now. We need to get behind the Prime Minister. We're not going to change leader again. They need to accept that fact and go into the general election as a united front and actually trying to make people believe in us again.
So Ben is to hold on. We're going to get to you after the break.
Yeah.
Ben is going to do spin for Rishi Sunak, and Richard Power Sayeed is going to be Paula Venables. Is going to rehabilitate her image. Lots to.
Who did worse out of that couple?
Lots to.
Sunak and Paula Venables.
I think probably Paula Venables.